Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video, I'm going to give an update on the price action that we're seeing and some of the things that we're seeing at Twitter and ultimately what's going on with the price of Doge. Now, it looks like one of the theories that I had a few weeks ago is starting to play out as far as for whether or not we were closer to the max pain and whether or not we would consolidate back down to around like that 6 cent level. So I was thinking that because of the catalyst that we have around Twitter and the long-term catalyst in the utility era, that we would not consolidate back down that far just because it's no longer just a speculation trade or just people saying that they're going to go to the moon. There's actually a catalyst on the horizon that Elon has consistently reminded us of that he's working on. So it just kind of like led me to believe that there was going to be more people willing to hold or purchase continuously, really, as this is being worked on and brought to the public via Twitter. And it appears to be the case. If you take a look here at the charts, you'll see that there is massive indecisiveness going on right here. We're getting extremely long wicks on either side, red wicks, green wicks, short wicks, short candles, just extreme massive indecisiveness. So there's really not a clear indication of which direction that it wants to go. And of course, we are also in gap territory, and this would be establishing a new form of support. We did have some previously in this range at around like the 8-9 cent range back in August. And it's looking like we're hanging out there versus consolidating back down to around like that lower 7 cent range, which is great. That means that we're building technically again, even after the FUD, after the panic, the bankruptcies, all that kind of good stuff. And you see, even things like Bitcoin stuff going down 16, 15,000. It's just kind of showing some evidence that Doge is close to the max pain, and we're actually consolidating at a higher previous support level, which is this one right here. Back on our peak was what, August 16th. So this is really great for the coin here, and it's looking like this is us kind of building out a newer support here, despite what's going on in the macros. So that's really great. And I also want to touch base on like all the noise and stuff that you hear around like Twitter, saying that Twitter is dead and Elon's going to drive it into the ground, blah, blah, blah. You have to understand that outside of the political hula hoops and just the, I won't say the circus, but it's just the political stuff that's going on around social media and who controls it and stuff like that, you're going to see a lot of information come out there. And there is a rather large audience that hopes that Elon fails and Twitter fails. This is the catalyst that they're praying for. So anything that involves firing an employee or an adjustment, it's the end of Twitter. And this is look at what he's doing to the company and blah blah blah. He doesn't know how to run a company. It's just some of everything. And this is going to be fed into the media and into the narrative because this is ultimately what they wanted to happen anyway, because they never wanted him to be able to purchase Twitter. So just kind of, this is why I titled the video, Ignore the Noise, because there is a lot of noise going on. Ultimately, if you look at Elon's track record when it comes to companies, you'll see that we are, in fact, good hands. I have no reason to believe that this is not going to happen, that the utility is not going to be integrated, that he's not going to do what he said he was going to do with Twitter and certainly with Dogecoin. So I don't have any issues holding and even going forward here, despite what's going on. So that is just my personal opinion. Obviously, you can do your own research, but I just strongly suggest that you look at some of the companies and stuff that Elon has built and sold, and you can kind of come to your own conclusion. But as far as for Dogecoin, we are in fact consolidating at a higher high. Again, remember, we were up here on this upward wedge to around like 17 cent. And then, of course, everybody's going bankrupt and these wallets started dumping and trying to raise liquidity and stuff like that. And of course, we all know the story now of FTX. But even after that, despite all of that madness, Dogecoin is still consolidating at a higher high. All we technically did was fill the gap and consolidate at our next point, because we were consolidating here. We had our rejections, we were on our trend, and we broke. And we literally went down bounced off of our support at around 7 cents and immediately started consolidating at our next support level. So that is really strong movements as far as to me, and really setting up us to build up this additional support level here before we can get the break for like the next catalyst going forward. So I do believe that it is entirely possible for us to sit here at this level until we get the news or that update from Elon. Doge has no problem going sideways. If you don't believe me, take a look down here from around October through June, right? So we can certainly go sideways for some period until we have that catalyst, that news for the break. So Dogecoin, the Dogecoin community, outside of like shorts and stuff, there have not, matter of fact, let's check in on shorts because they have not been doing anything as well. And again, I think that they're going to have to play Dogecoin differently because of the catalyst. Normally, when you have this consolidation, they try and come in and try and drive the price lower. But I think that with this type of catalyst on the horizon, that it's likely that if they drove the price lower or too low, they would just increase buying dramatically. So it looks like they're not taking that risk either. Even here, they kind of bailed out and they're not staying in these positions very long. And now they're kind of just trending sideways as well, like 4.67% up today from open. So no aggressive movements on shorts as well. I really think that this is kind of until we get like our next catalyst, this may be some similar price action that we're kind of see kind of us just like trending along here until we get that next big catalyst. So that is what I see as far as going into the weekend. Of course, we're getting new updates about FTX and how deep those roots in fact run like every day. It feels like every day it's getting worse. So it's just something we're going to have to keep our ear to the ground on to see which company is going to go belly up next. You know, I did release the article, and for those of you who've been following me for a while, you know, we've talked about shorts and owning your wallets and everything that you can do to kind of protect yourself and your investments from a lot of the BS that's going on. And that is the most important thing. The number one thing that you can do, and I want to say this probably in every video for like the next month, is to own your wallet and own your keys. I highly suggest you do that because I do have a strong feeling that the BS and stuff that we're seeing in the market is in fact not over. So I personally use a ledger. I have a link to them in the description section. You can get it directly from the company. Ledger's headquarters is in fact in Paris. So if you're getting ledgers from anywhere in America, Canada, Mexico, certainly China, you are getting some form of knockoff or possibly even a used ledger, and you are running the risk of spyware, etc., being already uploaded on that device and getting cleaned out the second you try and use it. So be very careful. I have a link to the actual official site in my description section. So if you want to get it directly, you certainly can. I just highly recommend that because you've seen the TOS. Check out my post on Twitter and stuff like that. Most of these companies, it's in their term of service that they can freeze your withdrawals, use it for liquidity purposes. Some of them even say as long as you hold it on their account, you're basically giving them a loan. It's just madness out there. And for us to even survive to see the fruits of the utility and stuff like that of the coin, we're going to have to make sure that we are in possession of our coin. So that's going to be the most important thing, not trying to make sure it's on an exchange so that you can act quickly, because getting 98% is better than having 0% because the exchange is belly up. So, and a lot of you have asked me, do I think there's a safe exchange? I think some are safer than others. I can say that, quote unquote, but I don't trust any of them. You have to understand that the company is going to do what's best for the company, and you need to do what's best for you. So the company's not going to, they'll say, oh, I want to do right by my customers, and I want to, because you've seen that kind of stuff like with Sam saying, oh, I want to do right by everybody, you know, kind of break everybody even. Yeah, after you freeze the withdrawals and stuff like that. If you're saying, if you're acknowledging that it's not your money and that it belongs to the people, that wouldn't happen. So your first instinct is to protect the company. And this typically happens across the board. This is not a FTX thing. We've seen some of every company do that had any issue at any point over the last couple of years with crypto. That's the first thing they do is hit the switch or have some unscheduled maintenance and, you know, stop people from taking coins or even buying coins at some point. So, or buying stocks at some point. It's a very common practice. So the best thing that you can do is have your wallet, because that's the biggest advantage over the stock market that we have in crypto, is the fact that you have the ability to kind of remove your coins or remove access to your coins from the brokers. Stock market, you really don't have that choice. So you have to kind of take advantage of that, of the unique advantages that you have here in the crypto market. And we're going to take a deeper dive in that over the weekend, but that is, I guess, my rant on crypto and the update for Dogecoin price action. As always, you can check out Moomoo. You can get up to 15 free stocks with payment for order flow free trading. None of the BS, kind of like what I was naming in the crypto market. They do not participate in that or front running your assets so that they can make an additional profit and stuff like that. So you can just participate, get commission free trading, and start your portfolio with 15 free stocks. I have a link for them in the description. And if you want my plays and my trades and weekly Zoom meetings with me, I have a link to my Patreon in the description section as well. I appreciate all of you. If you found value, like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.